Hello, and welcome to Deep Dive, a platform generated with Google Notebook LM to discuss the world of mouse models and their importance in research, support, and discovery. And now to Deep Dive.
All right, so today we're doing a deep dive into some cutting-edge mouse research with the UC Davis Mouse Biology Program's annual report for 2023-2024.
Yeah.
And this report, I'll tell you what, it's pretty dense.
That's a lot to take in.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
We read through all of it so you don't have to.
Absolutely.
And, you think about it and you're like, mouse for research, what's so exciting about that?
Right.
But this is really, it's a program that's kind of quietly revolutionizing how we understand human health.
Yeah, think about it. The MBP, it's celebrating its 25th anniversary this year.
Wow.
That's a quarter century of, that they've been providing researchers with the tools and the expertise to use mice to study, well, everything.
Yeah.
From genetics to complex diseases, you name it.
And I think what's really interesting, especially for our listeners who are familiar with UC Davis, the report really highlights how they're leaning into the chancellor's to boldly go vision.
Oh, absolutely. They're not just keeping pace with the research, they're shaping the field.
Right.
And the numbers really speak for themselves here. Over 300 investigators served.
Wow.
Some even internationally, nearly 75,000 mice cared for. We're talking about a remarkable scale of research here.
That is a lot of mice. But it's not just, the sheer number of mice. It's what they're doing with these mice that's contributing to all this research.
Exactly.
Almost 200 peer-reviewed publications coming out of the MBP.
It's impressive.
And one thing that I thought was really interesting was their role in, this groundbreaking study on Alzheimer's disease, which has actually led to a promising new drug therapy.
Now that's what it's all about.
And that wouldn't have been possible without the MBP's resources and expertise.
It's a perfect example of their impact.
Yeah.
But, it's not all, sunshine and roses.
Right.
The report does mention some financial hurdles that they're facing.
And I think that's a really important point to bring up because, why should our listener care about, the MBP's finances?
Well, because it directly impacts their ability to support the research community. Fewer resources, well, that could mean longer wait times for researchers, limited access to those specialized services that they offer, and, potentially a slowdown in those groundbreaking discoveries.
Like I said before, they're not just, housing mice. They're really pushing the boundaries of what's possible in biomedical research.
Exactly.
And that requires a significant investment.
It does. And for anyone listening out there who's involved in research, even tangentially,
Right.
understanding the MBP's role and those challenges they face, it's crucial.
So let's dig in a little bit deeper and take a look at what makes the MBP tick.
Okay.
The report breaks down their work into 5 key divisions, and we're going to go through each one of those.
Sounds good.
First up, we have laboratory operations, which really is the engine room of the MBP.
That's a great way to put it. It really is.
I mean, we're talking about a facility that's equipped for everything from gene editing with CRISPR
Oh, yeah.
to stem cell work,
Yeah.
even mouse IVF.
It's amazing to have all of that under one roof.
Right.
That kind of efficiency, that level of collaboration, it's pretty rare in research.
And speaking of, having the best equipment, I noticed that they acquired some new equipment this year that I thought was really cool.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
They got a new microforging grinder.
Oh, that's a significant acquisition.
Yeah.
A microforge. That allows researchers to manipulate microscopic materials.
Wow.
We're talking like creating custom tools for microinjection, injecting DNA into a single cell.
It's hard to even imagine.
It's that level of precision.
Wow.
And the new grinder, that helps to create these incredibly fine glass needles that are essential for these procedures.
That's incredible.
It is, and this new equipment, it's going to open doors for even more groundbreaking research.
So safe to say they are serious about staying at the forefront of their field.
Absolutely, this investment. That's commitment.
All right, so moving on to our next division, we have Vivaria and veterinary care.
Right.
And, we talked about those 75,000 mice.
Yeah.
They need to be taken care of.
That's a lot of mouths to feed.
That's a lot of mice.
Yeah.
And so this division really ensures their health and well-being, which is crucial for ethical and accurate research.
Couldn't agree more. This division often gets overlooked, but it's absolutely essential.
And, it's not always perfect.
Why?
I know a couple of years back, there was that contamination scare
Oh, right. Yeah.
that, that kind of sent ripples throughout the research community.
That was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
And they actually address it in the report.
Oh, good.
They talk about it.
That's important.
And I think what I thought was really interesting was that they were very transparent about the incident, about the steps that they took to contain the outbreak,
Right.
and then what they were doing to prevent it from happening again.
And they did a good job, too, because they recovered very quickly,
They did.
which shows real commitment to quality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on from Bavaria and veterinary care,
Okay.
we have phenotyping and analytics.
Right.
And I got to be honest, this one sounds a little bit like they're giving, like, personality tests to the mice.
Well, not exactly a personality test.
Okay.
But it is about understanding a mouse's observable characteristics.
So, like, physical traits.
Yeah, like their behavior, even things like their metabolism and immune response.
So, essentially, they're measuring everything about a mouse that could be relevant to research.
Exactly. And then the analytics part comes in, where they analyze massive amounts of data generated from these tests
Okay.
to identify patterns and draw meaningful conclusions.
So it's like taking all that raw data and making sense of it.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they can visualize the development of organs and tissues in exquisite detail, track the effects of genetic mutations,
Wow.
and even screen for potential drug targets during fetal development.
It's like having a window into, like, the earliest stages of life.
It really is remarkable.
That is incredible.
It highlights, their commitment to not only just providing mouse models,
Right.
but also developing and implementing these really cutting-edge techniques to analyze them.
All right, so 3 down, 2 to go.
Let's do it.
Next, we have repository and project management. When you think about it, it's kind of like the unsung heroes.
Yeah, behind the scenes,
Yeah.
they're the logistics and the customer service experts all rolled into one.
So what kinds of things are they doing on a day-to-day basis?
Well, they handle everything from managing those really complex breeding schemes to shipping mice and research materials worldwide.
Wait, shipping mice internationally?
Oh, yeah, they have a global reach.
That seems incredibly complicated.
It takes some specialized expertise for sure.
Wow.
Imagine ensuring these, precious creatures arrive safely and in optimal condition for research.
Yeah.
It's really a testament to their attention to detail and commitment to supporting, the global research community.
That's amazing.
And they're not just shipping mice, they're managing vast amounts of data.
Oh, right, of course, because you've got
Genetic profiles, phenotypic data, experimental results.
a lot of data.
It's a data management challenge on a huge scale.
I bet. Okay, so our final division, information services.
Right.
And in this day and age, it's kind of impossible to imagine, especially a place like the MBP,
Oh, yeah.
that's so technologically advanced, functioning without, a really strong IT infrastructure.
Absolutely. They're the ones who keep the MBP's digital systems running smoothly.
So are there any challenges that they're facing?
Well, they do mention, the need for some updated equipment
Of course.
and increased funding for things like internet bandwidth and cybersecurity.
Right, because that's always a concern.
Always.
It's interesting, though, that even like cutting-edge scientific research can't escape those everyday IT issues.
It's a good reminder that, behind all these groundbreaking scientific discoveries, there's this complex ecosystem of support systems.
That's a really good point.
And today, a robust IT infrastructure. It's not optional.
Not anymore.
Oh.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, talked about all the different divisions.
We have. It's a complex operation.
It is.
Yeah.
But enough about the present. Let's talk about the future.
Okay.
What's next for the MBP?
Well, they're not resting on their laurels, that's for sure.
So what are some of their goals?
Well, first and foremost, they need to secure those grant renewals.
Right.
Especially given those financial challenges we talked about.
Right.
Those renewals are critical.
So they can keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, maintain their current level of operation, and then some, hopefully. They've got ambitious goals.
What about any cool new technology on the horizon? I know they mentioned something about using AAV for gene editing.
Yes, adeno-associated virus.
Okay, and remind me again what that is.
It's basically a harmless virus that's been modified to deliver genetic material into cells.
So they're using a virus to help with research?
In a way, yes.
Okay.
But it's shown a lot of promise for gene therapy in humans
Wow.
because it can deliver genes to very specific cells.
And how are they using it with the mice?
Well, they're exploring ways to use it to create even more precise mouse models.
So it's all about getting more precise.
Exactly.
Wow, that's fascinating.
And they also mentioned something about AI.
AI.
Yeah, artificial intelligence.
So we're talking like robot researchers running the lab now.
not quite robots, but they are looking at using AI to automate certain tasks.
Like what?
Things like generating reports, analyzing those large data sets we talked about, even potentially outreach and communication.
So it's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly, freeing up researchers to focus on the research.
I like it.
Yeah, AI has the potential to really change how we do research, and the MBP is on top of it.
Well, that's really exciting.
It is.
So as we wrap up our deep dive here into the Mouse Biology Program's annual report,
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that they are doing some really, really incredible work. And I'm excited to see what they do in the future.
Me too. They're really pushing the boundaries of what we know about human health.
And for our listeners, if you want to learn more about the MBP, check out their website, and you can actually read the full annual report yourself.
It's worth a read.
It is. It's very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for today's Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to Deep Dive. For more information about the UC Davis Mouse Biology Program, visit mousebiology.org. That's one word, mousebiology.org.